Welcome to a new video on my channel. Today, we're talking again about Bandhelper. I mentioned that I would bring a few more videos on this topic, and we will do that. I'm going back into a project for this, then to my repertoire, and the very first thing I obviously have to do is create a song. For this, I click on Song here. Then I can click on the plus sign at the top and it continues. You can also import songs from Chord Pro, from our song, or from a playlist you created in Excel. We will just click on plus here because we want to create a new song. Then I can create or enter the title here. Let's just call it Muster and Muster. Then I can enter keywords here. For example, I don't have any yet, I've never used it, so let's click on plus. Then I would say, for example, rock. And now I can select in which projects I use these keywords. This selection for the projects can be done everywhere or in many areas, including for the songs, the documents, and so on. I will show you that shortly. So I don't want to use rock just for this, but also for nightlife and for maniac. I go to save and I can already use the keyword. Okay, this is very funny. Now, it seems the app has a glitch, so I would have to enter a new one here. That's very exciting. So now he has taken pop, which is a good question. Obviously, the keyword rock already exists. And I will leave the project as is, so now I click on pop, and then I can choose a color if I want. I can select a personal color. The difference here is that when I share this project with other musicians, the shared color for everyone is red, while for me personally, it is orange. However, no one else sees that. They only see red. Then you can give a rating here if you want. You can choose the priorities, the song quality. So I would, for example, choose how well I prepared the song or how the band performed from 1 to 5. You don't have to do that. Here you can enter the key, then I can enter personal transposition. This is interesting for keyboard players, for example. Let's assume we play this thing in G. However, I have it noted in C, so I can either transpose it up or down and write down in which key I have written it. You can select the time signature here, and it can then be played by Bandhelper. I can choose the time signature. Here, for example, it will be 4/4. I can enter the tempo, but I can also just tap the tempo. Then you can specify interludes here, and you can indicate the duration of the song. This is very important to see the length of the set later in setlist mode, that is, in the setlist. If I enter this for each song, I will also see the total set length at the end. If I don't enter something for a song, then I also don't see the set length. You can enter a song number here, for MIDI, if you want. Here I can select, which is very important, in which project these songs will be. I have gotten used to it. I create new songs under everything, so all the songs I have are included, and then I distribute them into my projects. This is okay for now. Just for showing. I can activate or deactivate the song here. I can create documents here as well, which is also quite simple. However, I need to save the song first. I'll just do that now, saving the song under template. Now I can click here, enter the name of the document, choose whether it's portrait or landscape, select the layout, whether it's standard, 1 column or 2 columns, and here I can select a file. So here I either have a list or I need to click on plus, and then I can simply choose my folder to attach whatever I want. Here I can also take photos directly, which means I can easily use the iPad or turn on the iPhone camera, snap a picture, or go to the photo library. Then, manually synchronize shared files, meaning that if I have multiple users, I can determine how synchronization is done. Here, I can also select which user is allowed to use it. So, then the same with recordings, it works just like that. I will just click on it now, here. You can adjust a bit more, namely the volume and panorama of the song. This is actually new. It hasn't been around for long. Then you can adjust the pitch here. You can change it if you want. You can shorten the beginning and the end if you have a live recording, for example. A lot has been said about this before. Does it make sense? If you have older studio recordings that are not quite in tune, you can correct them here, which I actually find pretty cool. Then I can create MIDI presets here. Some are already set up. I'll just click on one. By the way, I just realized that it doesn't work, so I'll click on plus. Then I can enter the name here, project again user, we already know that by now. Then there is the MIDI learn function. If I have my keyboard connected and click on MIDI learn here, and then switch on the keyboard, the keyboard normally sends, or you can set it so that the keyboard sends program changes. Bandhelper receives them then. When I click on MIDI Learn a second time, it remembers that. This means I don't need to enter anything manually. However, I can also manually enter my MSB, LSB, and program change values here. Then I can additionally send controller commands and a value, and I can also select which device this is and send sysex, again if I want to, along with a few more presets. I will provide examples for that later. Then I can Google the song lyrics here. I can Google the chords. It's funny that Googling is actually included as a term now, information about the song. So I can also write the song lyrics together here. Today, I will explain to you just how it works with the songs. So you can still do a little bit here. Bring color into play if you want. Or you can make it bold if you want, as you wish. Then you can also choose columns here if you want that. This is the shared song text that everyone can see. However, if I am only singing backing vocals, for example, I would put my personal text here and only include the parts that I emphasize. For example, I explain. Explain. Songs. This is what I sing. This is what I sing. That's why it's there for me. Then we have the chords here. A minor, C, F, G. Transposing everything works really well when you input it correctly, so it's a great function. I can also add colors and so on. You can make notes there too. If I click down here, it saves the song, and that's how we easily created our first song. I'm going to delete it now because I don't need it. Did you also see how the deletion works? I hope you now know how the songs work. Of course, more videos will follow. If you have any questions or want to learn about specific features that I should prioritize, just write me in the comments and we might even bring forward a video.